lectures on the digital business strategies. So my name is Unikok. I'm currently located in Malaysia. I'm from the Segi University. The university is currently ranked at the Asia Top 300, and I actually graduated from the University Science Malaysia, currently ranked at the QS ranking 140. So I graduated with the Master in Finance and also PhD in Finance. So today our topic is about the digital business strategies. So today our topic is about digital business strategies. This basically means that all the business strategy we put to the digital side, we put it to the online side rather than do the business strategy on the physical. This is because due to the COVID-19 and the pandemics, a lot of the businesses, they have started to move their business going to the clouds, going to be digital rather than just staying on the physical side. So as you can see, I'm also a certified internal auditor and also the member of the internal auditor of the United States. So today we will have to go through a few contents, a very short one. The first one is about the strategies. We will discuss about the digital operations and the digital strategies. So what are the operations that needs to be moved on to the digitals and what are the strategies that have to be implemented? And also the second part will be to transform how the global trends affecting the digital operations and strategies, and then how the transformations can affect the digitals and why most of the businesses started to move to digital. And the last one will be the digital. We will be discuss about the workforce and also the technology side of the digital, how we should actually maintain and how we actually can outline a good business strategy. So without further ado, so let's start for the part one. So the part one is about digital strategy. As we all know, most of the physical strategies are not going to be applicable when you are going to do your business mostly on the digital. This is because most of the youngsters, especially the youngster now, we are using the social media. We use Instagram, we use Facebook. Even your university is using Instagram and Facebook to promote the courses. And we also use the TikToks, and we use a lot of different apps like Twitters, like the Telegrams. We started to use a lot of the different social medias because we engage with the digital phones every day. So a lot of time, most of business, if you want to reach to the more customer, have a lower cost, going for a digital strategy is a better option than you are just building a physical store. This is because when you are building a physical store, you are going to cost a lot of money on the renters. You need to hire more people. You need to have a space for the warehouse. So what is the meaning of the digital media? So digital media refers to the audios, video, and photo content that is encoded, can be easily manipulated, distributed, and rendered by computers and transmitted over computer networks. So it means that when you are doing a digital strategies, you cannot run away from digital media. You have to show your audience what are the contents that you want to promote. It can be about the audios, it can be about the video, it can be about the photo contents with some words on it. So it's very common, especially for the influencers. They are also doing their digital strategy. They need to plan what are the photos they need to post today. So what are the captions they need to put, and then how to attract more people to go and like their pictures, and then share their video or watch their videos. So all this can be actually accumulated. So it will become a very good digital strategy for them to reach the customer. So strategy is also a plan to achieve a desired goal in the futures. So why we need to do a strategy? The strategy is easily to help us to understand what we want to achieve in the futures. So if, for example, if you watch the Netflix Emily in Paris, so she is also the one who is very well known in the digital strategies. She plans on what are the posts to be posted today, where the videos should be uploaded, how to attract more customers. So she understands how to use her influencer accounts to actually attract more customer and then link her link her fans to the business. So that's how we actually do. If we want to achieve a desirable outcome in the future, we need to have a plan. So the plan, we call it as a strategy. It's a way of achieving a desirable outcomes. So an e-business strategy is a plan that consisting of short and long-term goals for the right digital technology to deal with the internal and external factors in the business environment. So when we talk about strategies, mostly we are dealing with the desirable outcomes of the organizations, or you are doing for your personal plans. So when you moving your strategy to become digital or become the e-business, so we also need to achieve to understand that what are the short terms and also the long terms goals. So for example, I taking the Emily as as an example. So for the short terms, that maybe in this week I need to achieve around 1,000 likes. In the long terms, I want to get more sponsor from the skincare company, from the fashion company to promote them in my page so that I can earn some side incomes. So this is all about business strategy where we doing it become digitally. So we also need to deal with the internal and external factor in the business environments. So the external factor or the business environment is that we cannot control. It can be affected by the macroeconomy or, for example, the COVID-19. When the COVID-19 came, a lot of business they didn't expect that. So it needs a lot of times to change the business from physical to digital. So the external factors are some things that the business cannot control, cannot actually fight with them. But with the internal factors, business can actually understand what they want to do, and then they can change their internal factors. So a very good example is that when it comes to the COVID-19, a lot of the shop, especially selling the food and beverage, the hotel and resorts. So a lot of times they cannot survive during the COVID-19 because due to the social distancing and also bans of the business operations. So in this way, they cannot change the external factor. So the only way for them to achieve is to change the internal factors. So by changing internal factor, the hotel and resorts can actually sell their foods through the, for example, through the Grab Foods, through the Uber Eats. So they can actually do other part of the side business in order to sustain the hotel and resorts during the COVID-19. So external factors are those that we cannot really change it, while the internal factors are those that we can actually control ourselves. We can shift it as well. So a strategy typically involves two major processes. So the first one is about the formulations, how we know about the current situations, how we analyze, and we need to draw a plans. So what the plans is suitable for the current business environments and also the future business environments. So what is our expectations? So what we should do. And then the second part of the strategy is also the very important one, which is the implementations part. So the implementation is about the actions taken to achieve the goal and then how we do. So after you formulate a plan, you need to ensure that your plan is actually working well. You need to know that your plans is actually can be worked and you don't need to keep on frequently changing the plans. So in this way, you need to go through the implementations. Only with the implementations, then the business will know is the strategy plan is sustainable or not. Does the strategy plans can achieve the goal? So this is a part that how we actually can do. So in a business related strategy, there is also a third aspect involved, which basically refers to beating the competitions or versus the competitor. So when we do the strategy plan, we need to understand what is our weaknesses and also what are the strengths. And we need to understand who are our competitors. So what is the differences between our competitor compared to us so that we can create clear differentiations between the competitor. So when the customer they come to buy something with you, they can understand that what is the difference of your organizations, what the products that you're selling compared to the products of your competitor is selling. So in this part, it actually allow you to understand more on the competitions. So who are your competitor and then how you can do it better than your competitor. So what is the uniqueness that you can allow your customer to purchase while your competitor is not giving the right. So we come to the more detailed one. This one is about the strategy formulations, how we should formulate a good strategy plans, how we should come out of plans that can satisfy the goal. So the strategy is a series of the decisions and actions that are taken to achieve stated aims and objectives. These decisions and actions are based on analysis of key elements of the strategy process. So there are a few key points in these definitions. So strategy is a series of the decisions and actions. So when you are doing a strategies, you are basically dealing with the decisions. So what are the things that you need to do, and then what are the actions you want to do as well. So it relies on that whether you understand your current business environments. So and what is your next step of helping the business to achieve a greater market share. So these decisions and actions are based on analysis of the key elements. So when you are doing the analysis, mostly people will go for the SWOT analysis to analyze about the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. And also, people can do about the PESO analysis, the political, economies, social environments. So there are a lot of the different types of the analysis tools available to help you to formulate a good business strategies. So when you are doing a digital business strategy, it is also very similar to the physical strategies. Just that when you are doing a digital strategy, you can expect your competitors is not only from your local community. So by right, if you are saying that if you want to sell banana cakes in the Indonesia, so you want to sell in Jakarta, so perhaps that if you are doing the shop physically, you are only being limited on the surrounding area of Jakarta. So let's say if you want to put your banana cake to go online, so you can expect that you are actually having the competitors not only from the Jakarta, you can also from the different parts of the Indonesia, as well as some of them from the foreign countries. For example, you can come from Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, or even China. So when you are doing your digital business strategy, it can actually go and expand more to the greater markets. But at the same time, with the greater market size, you will also expect a greater number of the competitors. So like the second point saying that the analytics part of the strategy can have the internal and also the external analysis. You need to understand so what is your internal key points, and then what is can contribute to the external analysis. So one of a very easy, simple way is to conduct a SWOT analysis. So SWOT analysis is a key strategy issues are identified. It's a very simple one that help you to understand what is the current situations and how you can combat your business with it. But when we come to the practical side, when you want to do a SWOT analysis, perhaps you need to list it down all the key points and then what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, what are the opportunity, and what are the threats available, so that you can understand how you can stand inside the markets. It's like playing a chess. You need to understand your key positions. You need to understand where you stand compared to the competitor, and then how you can do it better than the competitor as well. There are few strategy issues. There are some of the examples. Summaries reasons or set goals for the need of a digital innovations. So when you are doing a digital business plan, you need to consider a few things. The first thing can be entering a new markets. Maybe you can go through the digital. When you are putting your product and services go to the digital side, you are actually giving more options to reach to more the customer for the different demographics, not only for the Jakarta, you can also for the other side of the Indonesia. You can also introduce a new product and service, finding efficiency and cost saving, because you don't have to pay rental when you are doing your business digitally. So you can also retain an existing customer. Some of the customers they are not convenient to travel physically to your store every day. So if sometimes they want to buy something, they can just do it online. So they can just buy it online so that you can also retain the existing customer. At the same time, you can improve the customer satisfaction, increase the market share, and increasing the customer base because we will have a new customer. Because when you're putting your product and services online, a lot of people they can see what you are selling and what you are providing through the internet. So it can actually help you to get more customers. Improving communications with customers and suppliers, and also you can attract some quality staff. So a lot of the times it's not like what we used to be when we want to go to apply for jobs. We need to understand about more about the company, more about the business. So most of the time we'll do go and do it online, and we can see what the products are being sold and then what the services are being provided through the online platforms, so that we can understand the business well. So if we have roughly figures of what is the business offering, most of the time you can attract the quality staff. So about the strategy formulation for the digital ones, there are a few parts of the evaluations. So you need to evaluate whether the strategy plans is a suitability. Does it deal with the overall rationales of the strategy? So once you understand your current business environment and also expected futures, so you need to understand whether your strategy is it suitable to implement or not. Is it practicable? So the feasibility is about the practicals. So the first one, suitability, is that you need to understand is it a right plan or not. So let's say if you are the Emily from the Emily in Paris, so you want to formulate a digital plan to understand your customers to get more skincare company to sponsor for the marketing firms. So you need to have a plan first. So after the plans, you need to see whether your plans is suitable or not. For example, you want to help a company to post about 10 pictures in the Instagram, so maybe this one is suitable. But if you are saying about posting about hundreds pictures, thousand pictures, so that one's maybe not suitable really. So because there are too many marketing tools that can be implemented, not only posting a picture. So your business plan and your digital strategy may not be suitable. So let's say about the feasibility. So feasibility is about the practical side. It concerns on whether or not the business has the resources required to implement, such as the capital, people, time, market access, and expertise. So imagine that if you are the Emily, you want to let's say promote champagnes in Asia, but most especially in China, but most Chinese people they prefer to drink tea over the champagnes. So your business feasibility plan cannot be really that practical and cannot really that targeting the China markets. So in this way, your business strategy plan may not be feasible. So the last one is about the acceptability. So the acceptability is related to the expectations of the stakeholder and customer and expected financial and non-financial outcomes. So you need to understand whether your strategy plan can be accepted by the stakeholder or not, can be accepted by the customer. Does it conflict with the local social taboos? For example, you don't sell pork, you don't sell beef to the Indian community in Malaysia because the Indians they don't eat beef. So you need to understand whether your business strategy can targeting to the targeted customer and also the targeted stakeholder. So there are a few different goals for the digital innovations and different marketing tools. The very first one will be the simple ones, the email marketing campaigns. Every day we receive a lot of the marketing emails, not only from our own uni, we also get it from the other different parties. For example, as the bank ones, they always keep on sending you, and then of a lot of the website or other digital social media platforms. So you also can use a social media platform to diversify the digital exposure. You need to know what are the social media that are frequently used by the youngsters today if you want to target them. So the next one will be the opt for the user generated content. You need to understand whether the content is suitable for the user. You need to can implement a loyalty program. So to keep on to retain the customer, you can reach out to customer in their native language. So for example, in Indonesia, then maybe you have to speak about the Indonesian language, which is a good one rather than you just speaking English. Same, if you want to do business in China, they will prefer you to speak in Chinese because they don't understand other language. So the next one will be the simplify the checkout process. And then you want to think about the mobile advertising because we are using smartphone every day. We are carrying our smartphone to go to everywhere. So it will be better if you can do advertisement through the mobile. So you also need to make your delivery options better than the rest. So this one is about the strategy implementations, how we can implement the strategies. For a very easy one, we can establish our own website or we can create our own shop in the shop. For example, Shopee, Lazada, on all the e-commerce, so that you also can hire a web developer or you can do yourself by adding a platform to the e-commerce. And then you can do some research about the companies in the related industry, whether they do it, whether they can sell it on the online or not. You can form a sales and logistics strategies for the new sales channels. For example, you want to sell products to the for foreigner, you want to sell product to overseas, so you need to make sure that you have the right channels to deliver the goods. You need to define the marketing strategy for the launch or ongoing promotion of these channels. So you need to understand so what are the marketing plans that you can promote to the social media contents. So you can also launch a new sales channel. So the second part is about the global trends and digital transformations. It will be basically discuss how the global factors are affecting the digital business strategy and how the transformation is being take place in digital. So about the global mega trends, so we can see as for now, there are a lot of the changes in the environment, especially under the COVID-19. It actually helped us to boost online sales and online customer more. So now a lot of people, they tend to buy the thing through online rather than go to the physical. So the first one is the rise of the experience economy. Like I just mentioned, due to COVID-19, a lot of the customers they have already started to experience how to buy things online. So if they already have this kind of the experience, definitely they will go to change for it. They will go to repeat the consumer behavior. And also with this kind of the economies, it means that the customer has started to accept online platform. They are starting to understand that the importance of the digital marketing and digital sales, and it is more convenient that you are going to the physical store. So customer existing within a social ecosystem, and also the recommendations are king. So if you want to buy things online, normally you won't buy the things from very small shops. There are not many reviews on it. Normally you will find the ones that have a lot of the reviews and a lot of the comments, and you can see the ratings. So once we always tend to buy things that have a very high ratings, high recommendations. So for doing a digital business, people can put their recommendations, their comments, their opinions through online. So they can easily express their opinions through online rather than just staying in a physical store, rather than passing to his friends or her friends or family, relative. So all these things, when you are doing the digital strategy, the digital can actually spread the recommendations, a good thing and also a bad thing very fast compared to the physical one. So you also can personalize with the big data. So with the current global trends, so like for example the Facebook or Google, and even all the social media platforms, such as Shopee and Lazada. So they a lot of times they already personalize their big data. They understand what you are searching on the internet. So for example, if you are searching about new properties, you want to buy a new property, let's say in Singapore. So you are just searching a property in Singapore. So you after searching a few times, then your Facebook, your Twitter, or maybe your Instagram, they will keep on popping out the properties advertisement to you. Or they when you go buying the clothes through the or buying some skincare through the Shopee and Lazada, they will keep on feeding you the kind of the advertisement about the skincare. So this is about the big data. When the businesses they are started to use big data to analyze the things that you have today and what are the things that you have searched, so they can personalize the content to you. The last two is about the virtual reality, automations, and about the artificial intelligence. So all these things is actually help the online business to come out to set out for the crowd rather than just staying in the physical store. So there are also some global business challenges that actually can force the digital business to go online. So from the transactions view to the customer view. So some of the challenges is that when you want to see the thing, you have to understand that when you are doing business, it's not about selling and purchasing only. You need to think about the strategy from the customer viewpoint. You need to understand what the customer wants and the needs of the customer. So for example, if most of the customer they prefer a blue color, definitely you won't just keep on taking the supplying of the pink color suits rather than you should actually targeting what your customer needs. So the business challenges is also about the personalizations and big data. Well, the big data actually help us to actually attract more customers, but at the same time, it can be an issues when there are too many competitors. So a lot of the advertisement can be put to the consumer, and then the consumer may not actually purchase the product as well. So you also had a business challenges for the global ones and for the local ones. For the global economies, the impact of the global ones that can actually affecting you. So for the local ones, most of the local business challenges, for example, the getting a nearby supplier, the logistic, this one will be the business challenge when you want to do a digital plan. So some of the disruptions and then mobility and also the workforce, whether you can find a suitable employee. So as you can see that almost of the key points of the physical strategy is actually very similar to the digital strategy. It's just that we are moving our things to the online. But when you are doing a physical one, you don't have the big data. You don't have about the personalizations. You care about the transactions more than you care about how the customer perceive all your brands of your products, and then how the people feel about your company, whether your product is a high-end product or not, whether they are willing to pay or not. So about the perceptions of the customers or the brands is a very different thing when you are doing your business going through the digital one and compared to the ones doing physically. So there are a few digital business transformations. So there is no single definition for digital transformations. So digital is about people because when you are doing the business, the company itself is managed by the people, the customers are the people. So digital plans is about people as well. You need to come up with your digital strategy plans according to your customer, according to the company, according to the people. So you should start the outside in harnessing the power of the disruptive force. You need to understand so digital business can have any kind of the disruptive force that can happen on every day. So you need to have the sufficient powers to actually combat with this. So digital is also different for each generations. So for example, the youngster one maybe they will prefer the Instagrams, the elder one maybe they will prefer the Facebooks, or even the even elder one maybe they prefer the web page, or some of them they don't even prefer to have a digital. So every generations, how they view, how they treat, and then how they utilize the digital is very different for each generations. It different for the people at the age of the 20 compared to the age of 30, and also compare age to the 40. Everyone view digital differently. So digital is also about embracing new technology. So due to the advancement of the technologies, we keep on having different kinds of the digital tools every day. So our apps, our web page, our social media becoming more and more user friendly, more and more easy. So you actually can have a very beautiful design right now and a very simple one that can help you to achieve and help you to attract you to stay on the social media. So when you are doing about a digital plan, you need to embrace the new technology. Digital is also about bringing the agility. You need to know what you do about the business. You need to understand how the business can move. So digital business should be able to easily roll out new ideas, innovations, and new features to the markets. So you have to understand that when you are doing a digital business, you need to have a new ideas and new innovations because you are not only fighting with your local community, you are also fighting with all the competitors from the global markets. So you are not only fight with the local business, you also can fight with the global business as well. So there are four pillars of transformations. So basically, with the digital transformations, we have these four pillars. The first one is from the customer side. So when due to the COVID-19, a lot of the customers they started to have their transactions through online. So this is one part of the digital transformations. So they started to have their business going through online. The second one will be the workforce. So the workforce, a lot of people most of the time they are now if they're doing on the digital business, they can actually work in everywhere. They don't have the stations in one place in office. They also don't have the stations from 9 to 5 p.m. every day. So they can basically work from home. They can work in the coffee shop. They can work in Starbucks. So also the next pillar is services. So when you are providing a digital business, you will tend to get a lot of the questions from the customer because in physical one, a lot of customers they are shy to ask, and then they only can ask on the spot. They have a limited time to ask. So when you are doing the business online, they can have plenty of time to asking you questions. So the services that you need to provide to the customer through the digital business is very different from the services that you are providing to the local business, to the physical one. So the last pillar is also the most important one, is about the changing of the technology. With the technology transformations, it actually helps you to get your product easily. You can sell a product easily through the online platforms. You can actually promote your products very easily, not only in the local community and also to the overseas as well. So with the help of the technology, you can actually do and achieve a lot of things. So it comes to our last part of the lecture today. Our last part will be about the digital customer. So the people ecosystem, when we talk about the people in the digital business, we cannot run away from the people. So from the employee side, from the company side, you have to be the customer oriented. You have to think what your customer wants, the needs of the customer, whether you can add value to the customer, whether you can help the customer to get more satisfactions or not. People tend to buy the things not only because of the good quality and services, they also want to get a greater satisfactions. They want to feel they are respected. They want to feel that they are being informed. So even they don't buy, that you don't take the chance to not giving them the chance to view the products. So for the company side, you have to be a customer oriented. So you also can form your own business units. So you need to know about your product and services. You need to know the details, and you need to know how to promote the product and services to the customer. So you need to understand the business strategy, the goal, the short-term goal, and also the long-term goal. So what are the things that need to be achieved as an employee? So you also need to have your customer data when you are doing a digital business. You need to understand where your customer come from, and then how your customer purchase, and then what is the purchasing power of your customer, what is the payment methods, the preferred payment method of your customer. So it's all when you are doing a digital strategy, you can actually cannot run away from the people ecosystems. So the last one will be the customer. So if customer is about the experience oriented, so they don't care whether most of the time after they assessing the quality of the product, they care whether they have a very pleasant purchasing experience or not. They want to understand whether their experience can gain a greater satisfactions. So they also need to express their needs and emotions. So customer can come from a different places with the different kinds of emotions. So as a business owner, you need to handle the business as well. So when the customer, they also had the disruptions, and they prefer to have more business information and a review to help them to make decisions. So that's why this part is very important. When you have a good business review, you can actually can assist the customer to get a better decisions. You can actually help them to make decisions whether to buy the products. So this one is about the customer journey. The customer journey, as you can see the diagram there, like that we explained, is a series of the interactions people have with a company through all available channels such as telephones, web branch, marketing communication, and service interactions. So it is about that when the customer they want to buy the thing, they actually need to deal with the peoples, with the companies. They can either through the telephone, through the website, or through the physical store, or through any marketing communications or marketing tools. For example, the social media advertisements, the brochures. So the diagram below there is actually expressing how the digital business and digital strategy is should be being formulated. Actually, should be actually based on the customer itself. So the markets you have the buy markets, and also you can own the ones. So for the buy one, you can actually see the people they have the needs, and then they search for the products, and then they select your product, and then they make the decision. So this one is for the buying side for the customer. Well, when you are formulating a good business plan, you need to have a very good support and serve. So you need to receive the purchasing orders for the customer. You need to utilize the information. You need to maintain a good relationship with the customer, and then you need to recommend a suitable product to your customer as well. So this one is being more rigorous and more important when you are doing your business in the digital rather than doing it in the physical. So for example, if you walk into for example, if you're walking to let's say about a Xiaomi or Huawei phones, so if you just walking in, you may just want to inquire about the phone model, so what the phone model available, so what are the functions available. So you may not know what is the meaning of the RAM, what is the meaning of the speed. So there are a lot of features that you may not really understand. Well, when you are doing the business through online and the customer actually have more options, so they can expand their needs. They can do more research through the internet. So they can understand what is the pros and cons, what are the advantages and the advantages of owning a Xiaomi or a Huawei phones. So this all can actually contribute to the part of the digital business strategy. So when you are doing a business digital strategy, you need to understand the needs of the customer. So you also need to provide a very good support and services to the customer as well. So when we say that digital business plans, digital business strategy is about all about the customer experience. So you need to understand that the customer experience is a cumulative impact of multiple touch points over the course of customer interactions with an organizations. So you got to start with the customer experience and work back toward the technology, not the other way around. This one is spoken by the Steve Jobs. So you need to understand what your customer needs. You need to care about how your customer experience when they are buying things in the shops, not only for physical, especially on the digital. So because there are so many competitors, let's say today I want to buy a facial watch uh, in the online. So if normally go to a physical store, I only have a few options. But if today I want to go through the online, maybe I can have a 20, 30, or even 100 shops that are selling the same things. So the only thing that can differentiate about you and the competitor is about your customer experience, the reviews accumulated from the customer. So how your attitudes are replying to the customer messages. So all this can actually contribute to a very good digital business strategy. So when you are doing the digital business strategy, you need to care more about the customer services, how customer experience. So this is just a way of showing you the customer journey mapping. So if you are interested, you can actually search this online. So there is actually a graphic showing you that how you can actually transform the needs of the customer to the eventually the points that the customer is buying thing from you. So now we have this part about the digital workforce. So we have a 73% of the CEO side that skill shortage are threat of the business, but 81% say that they are looking for a wider mix of skill when hiring. So when you are doing a digital business, you are not expecting to only know one thing. For example, if you are doing finance, you are not only expecting to know how to calculate the account, how to come up with the financial analysis. You also need to understand so what are the products and all the services provided and then how customers feel about your product and services. So this all will be contribute to the workforce of the digital. So we need to have a digital leader. So we need to have a workforce that can tell you how the business should lead in the digital. So we need to have a very clear digital business and digital strategy. So we need to have a sufficient digital capabilities within the talent pools. So all the people that are hires must have the capability of handling the digital businesses. So they maybe need to be tech savvy. They need to understand how social media works, or do they have the experience dealing with the digital firms. So you also need to educate for innovations and agilities. So so you need to know, you need to let your employees know there are lots of the different type of the business innovations. And then there you can actually have a different type of the innovations that can put into the digital strategy and also digital business. So the next one will be the ingrained digital in the organization cultures. So if you are doing a digital business, definitely you expect the customer to be the tech savvy. You expect the customer to be the tech savvy. You expect your employee to know the social medias. So at the same time, you want to provide the working environments that is going through the digital. You don't want to force all your employee to stay in the office or doing the same thing again and again. So most of the times you are expecting your customer, your employees, they can do their work anyway and any times in the organizations. So the last one about the change in the organization structures impact the entire integrated business system. So when you are having a new workforce in the digital firms, you need to ensure that all the changes can actually contribute to the organization changes. So you need to be very careful in selecting the correct digital workforce. So next one about this one will be some I'll touch on the digital technology and how this technology is going to affect our digital business strategy plans. So with the technology, you need to understand you have a cloud technology, you have a data insight and service personalizations. A lot of the social media platforms or the shopping platform, they are actually collecting your data and also personalize the service to you. So there are also some of the very traditional and predictive analytics that can help you to predict your business and make a better business decisions. You also can have a mobility technology, a data-driven decision management. So data-driven decision management, it means that you are making a decision based on a series of products or a series of data provided to you. So all your decision is being supported by the data. For example, if you want to buy a blue color shirt, you collected the research and your data showing you that most of the customer they prefer the blue color of the shirts rather than the pink color of the shirts. So in this way, so your decision is actually can be supported by the data. So we call it as a data-driven decision management. So that's all for the very short lectures today. So today we have gone through a few sections. We have gone through the few sections about how to formulate a good e-business, digital business strategies. So we know that there are a few things. The first thing is about formulating a good strategy plans. We understand so what are the digital operations, how the digital strategy compared to the physical ones. And when you are going to digital, you have a good thing is that you are reaching to more customers, more markets, but at the same time, you're also facing with a lot of the competitor, and then maybe people will be selling the same product with you just with a lower cost. Then the next one will be the transform. So you understand how the global factors that is affecting the companies and also affecting your digital strategy, how you can make the digital transformations. So the last one about the workforce and about the technology. The digital workforce and digital technologies can be very different when you are doing a business strategy plan compared to the physical one. So that's all for the lectures today. So do you guys have any questions before I think we can end the sections today? If you got any question, you can type in the chat box. So basically today we discuss about how digital business should run. So if you want to have a good example, I can actually show you. Today in the class I have shown a sample of the digital platforms. So for example, one way of showing is that you can actually purchase all your products through the digital platforms. Like for example, this website is showing you how with a very beautiful graphics and a moving one, and it's actually help the customer to understand what the product that they are selling is also projecting that the business is a very take care of the quality. And with all this beautiful picture, it actually attracts the people to buy their product through the digital. So most of the time, if you want to do a digital sales, digital business, you have to ensure that you have a very good, nice looking platform for the customer to purchase. So if the customer want to purchase, they can directly go to the website or go to social media. It's not about something that is very difficult to control, very difficult to see. So a lot of these different things they can actually make the digital business a better. So with this kind of strategy, you can actually help the digital business to gain more sales and also get more profits. So once just remember that if you want to do a digital business, you need to make sure that you are posting a good picture, you are giving the right content, you are creating the content for your customer. So you understand the uniqueness of your business compared to the competitor. So that's why they can choose your product over the other competitor. So got any more questions? So if no more questions, I think I will end the sessions today.
Hey, does any of you have a related question about the digital business course, maybe? Does anyone of you have question for Mr.
Sorry, sir.
Please?
I have a question. Okay. Before that, my name is Bobby Indrawan. I'm student Islamic accounting from UIN Sultan Tahasin Jambi. I have a question about companies. Several companies in Indonesia experience big data like such as Tokopedia or in global companies such as Facebook, which have affected customers' interest and trust in using this service. So, how do companies anticipate these digital crimes? I will send my question in room chat.
Okay, I think I mostly understand what you are saying. So if you are saying about the, like, for example, Tokopedia and the Facebook, they are collaborating. So once the if you for example, if you are using a phone, you want to search something in the Tokopedia. So at the same time, for example, you search for a smartphone in the Tokopedia. So at the same time, you may have the same information, the same advertisement that they posted to the Facebook. So it can actually pose a threat to the customer privacy as a correct thing. Is actually is a correct statement. And actually in the Switzerland and the Finland, last year, I think last year or 2 years ago, they actually post a fine on the Facebook. So Facebook get a penalty in this country in the Europe because they are actually taking the information of the customer. But however, with the current regulations and law, so a lot of the times that customer information are not being protected. So it is unavoidable way that you cannot avoid that the customer the Facebook or the Tokopedia, they are taking your information and selling to each other.
Okay, sir.
So I would say that it will be better if the government, if the regulator, they can come up with the certain rules to regulate for example, the Tokopedia and the Facebooks to protect the customer rights. But unfortunately, other than Finland and Switzerland, I don't see any much company is doing so. And then even with the penalty, they are still keep on doing because profit is a lot better than the penalty. So it's a lot of times that the government didn't really take the actions against them. So I think as the time more progress and then as a more customer, they are started to aware of their own privacy. So they will started to complain this. With the more complaints, perhaps in future, the governments or the regulator can take actions to control this kind of the digital crime as well.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome, welcome. So still got any more questions?
Sir, thank you for advance the opportunity to ask, sir. My name is Pranjimson Neborho. I am from Namensan KBP University. I want to ask, sir, why is digital marketing preferred over traditional marketing, and how to make social media marketing strategies product good result? Thank you, sir.
Oh, if you are saying about the differences about the traditional marketing and also the digital marketing, a very obvious one is that when you are going through the digital marketing, you can actually attract more customer. For example, in the Facebook one, if you own a page before or you are creating a page, you can actually know that you can actually pay some of the money to boost the post. So your post can actually can reach to a lot of the customer. For example, if you are just posting in the social media, maybe you will have around 10 people, 20 people looking at the post. So if you just pays for some money, so you can actually have the Facebook to help you to boost the post, and then you can reach to thousands or 10,000 or even hundreds thousand of the customer. So these are things that is very different from the traditional traditional marketing. So when it comes to the traditional marketing, you only can do your marketing. For example, you have your brochure, billboards to the surrounding community. So if you want to do at Jakarta, you will only restricted in the Jakarta. So let's say if you are doing a digital marketing, you have a Facebook, Instagram, you post it to everywhere. So not only people staying in Jakarta, they can see your advertisement. The people in the other part of the Indonesia, they also can see your advertisement as well. So we have, I hope they answer you. So we have a next question about what do you think about the monopoly in business? I mean by using technology, company can have a wider skew of markets and it leads to more competitions, and how to encourage a healthy competitions. Monopoly is still illegal, right? So what do you think? So a lot of times when you are doing a digital business, it's very hard to monopoly other than the social media platform, for example the Facebook, Twitter. But even in the China now, you have a TikTok already. So whether monopoly is illegal or not, in some of the countries the monopoly is actually being banned. So a lot of the country they're actually against monopoly. So whether it is illegal or not, it depends on whether the governments can set and can whether they can define an illegal business. But some of the businesses definitely they are still monopoly. For example, the oil and gas, oil and gas. For example, the car makings. A lot of the public company owned by the governments. They kind of the business will be monopoly. But however, if you're talking about the private sector, for example, the social media, Facebook, they have a competitor like Twitter and Instagram. They have the Telegrams. They have a TikTok in China, and then they have a different apps as well. So with the time goings, a lot of the business they cannot actually enjoy the monopoly already. So with the use of technology, definitely a lot of company they can have a wider skew of the markets and actually can lead to more competitions. So like I said, if you want to sell banana cake in the Jakarta, you only be being limited in the Jakarta. So let's say if you want to put your banana cake through online, you are actually can sell to the other place of the Indonesia. But at the same time, you need to fight with the customer. They are not only staying in the Jakarta. Maybe a seller in the Malaysians they can also sell the banana cake and they can ship to Indonesia as well. So a lot of times when you are doing a digital business, you can gain access to more market, more customer, but at the same time you are also facing with more competitions and more competitor. So how to encourage a healthy competitions. So competitions definitely they will exist. So if you want to have a very good competitions, my advice is that you shouldn't go for the price war. For example, the banana cake is selling for the $5. Maybe you should not go. Maybe one seller they sell at the 4.50. Maybe tomorrow they will have another seller selling at the 4 or even at the $3 or even at a very low cost at the $2.5. So I would say that if you want to have a very healthy competitions, you don't focus on the price war. You should go for the differentiations. How your product and your services can be differentiated for your customer. So do not go for the price war. So let's say that if you have a banana cakes, they're selling at the $5. Maybe you can sell at the $7 with a different flavor. For example, you are adding some of the oats, some of the hazelnuts, some of the nuts, almonds inside the banana cake, so it can actually create the differentiations. So the customer have more choices, or you also can accumulate more reviews, very good review from the customer, so that the customer can trust on you. They can actually buy your product. Or a lot of people that claims that your product is actually tasty, so your banana cake is actually taste better than the normal ones. So a way to encourage the healthy competitions is through the differentiation. You need to understand the differences of your product compared to the competitor. So do not go for the price war. The differentiation is a key point that how you can stand out from the competitions. So I hope they answer your questions. So any more questions?
Okay, is there any more question that's related to digital business course? Maybe we have to fulfill. Maybe another question from Jimson. If any more question? No. If there are no any more question, maybe we can close this cluster. So
Okay, thank you all for joining the class. So hope to see you guys in the next time.
yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Mark Oyaklon. For the next course, we will meet at 1 p.m. everyone. So you can have a rest now. I will end the meeting room. Thank you very much for your all attendance for today. Thank you so much. See you.